Hello and welcome back to NoBS. Today we return to talking about a classic liberal meme, a very, very terrible way they use to attack a certain group of people. I'm of course talking about cultural appropriation. That's right, cultural appropriation has come back to light, and I feel like it's not going anywhere anytime soon. It's actually a little early. We're just in September now, because October is usually when cultural appropriation comes into full swing. We all know that at the end of October is a very popular holiday called Halloween, and that's where people like to dress up and goof around and have fun pretending to be someone else as they either go to a party, or if you're a kid, you go trick-or-treating house to house trying to get candy. I'm not sure how that's going to fly in this day and age with this whole pandemic thing going on, but in the past, in normal times, people would get super offended and call it cultural appropriation. So let's go ahead and break that down and talk about how it relates to today's story. Essentially, a singer named Adele has been accused of cultural appropriation. She's a very famous singer from Britain. She has very great pipes. She's like an amazing vocalist who has some very, very emotional songs. And she's been accused of appropriation because she has the wrong hairdo. That's right. This is actually very, very silly and much worse than you might think. Let's go ahead and check a picture before we go on. It says, stars defend Adele against cultural appropriation claims after singer shares photo in Bantu knot. In the photo shared on Instagram, the Hello singer is wearing a Jamaican flag bikini and has her hair twisted in Bantu knot. Seems pretty innocent to me. I'm just seeing a girl with a certain hairstyle. I'm not even sure that this was an African hairstyle. Apparently it is. Apparently it's from Black culture. And in most situations, if you were being honest, if you weren't being like this negative Nancy, you would just say, hey, she's wearing a style. She's respecting like Jamaica. She likes it. This is nice. This is a very flattering thing. This is what you do when you like a people or a culture or a certain trend. You adapt it and you say, hey, I'm going to try that hair on. I'm going to try this bikini that has a certain color, a certain flag on it. And that's really where the story should end. But woke activists can't stand people, just having fun and doing different things, enjoying the world and all the culture and all the beautiful stuff we have in Western civilization. And in addition, there's two other things. First of all, we all know that social justice warriors, those types, they love to attack popular people. In addition, she's also a white person, so she's got a bit of a twofer here. Basically, Adele is one of the biggest singers out there. She also just kind of reemerged. I don't know if you can tell, but she's been hitting the gym. She's very much in better shape right now, and she's been doing some new looks because of that. We've seen her premiere her new look, her new body a few weeks back, maybe a few months ago at the beginning of the summer. And now she's been trying on some new stuff. She has this new look here. And like I said, it's not actually the best look for her. I'm not a big fan. I think she looks prettier with her hair down. But it's a look, and there's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing racist or offensive about this. They're only attacking her because, one, she's highly popular. She's one of the biggest singers alive right now. And two, she's obviously white. They hate white people. Cultural appropriation is a weapon to attack white people. We've seen it time and time again. That's the only time that it's used is against white people. In fact, I don't even know if they will admit that Black people or brown people or whoever, Asian, can culturally appropriate. There's not been a case of that ever. I've tried to bring it up. I've tried to mention it, and it just never comes up. And it's not like because I'm against it, I'm not going to say, oh, you're culturally appropriating. I'm just holding them to the same standards. If British people can't wear a hairstyle from South Africa, I believe that's where the Bantu tribe is from. It's a Bantu knot is what the hair is called. I looked it up here, and it says they're originated from the Zulu tribes in Southern Africa. So the point is, if white people can't have these hairstyles from South Africa, can South African people, say, take advantage of things from England? Adele's from England. Her family, her history, her ancestors invented the English language. They did a lot of great things too, like create other big countries in the world. Or colonizers created America, Australia, parts of Canada, New Zealand. These countries developed many things too. So this whole British influenced Western culture comes from this place. So are they allowed to culturally appropriate our things? Like, is Africa allowed to speak English? Are they allowed to use modern medicine? Can they use computers and technology? America, for example, close adversary to Britain, a British child country, basically, descendant. And America invented things like the internet, the cell phone, high-tech computers, lots of video games come from America, partly come from Japan and stuff too. But you get the point. I mean, there's a lot of culture that the American culture, the British culture, and white culture, it doesn't really get acknowledged. You can take it as you want. There's no cultural appropriation claims. And that's because we're looking at a very big double standard. That's the worst part here, is the double standard and the fact that they're attacking someone for a hairstyle. It's kind of silly too. High-profile black figures, including Naomi Campbell and MP David Lammy, have defended Adele over claims of cultural appropriation following a backlash for an image she posted on social media. The Tottenham-born singer attracted criticism from some fans after sharing a photo on Instagram showing her in a Jamaican flag bikini with her hair in Bantu knots. Alongside the image, which was taken in the singer's Beverly Hills garden, she wrote, "Happy what would be Notting Hill Carnival, my beloved London, GBJM." Here's David Lammy defending this, saying poppycock, the humbug, totally misses the point of Notting Hill Carnival and the tradition of dress up or masquerade. Adele was born and raised in Tottenham. She gets it more than most. Thank you, Adele. Forget the haters. So this appears to be a defense from this guy, David Lammy, and he's a black dude. The 2020 edition of West London's traditional celebration of Caribbean and black culture took place remotely for the first time in its 50-year history due to the virus, and Adele was clearly keen to celebrate from her home in LA. So apparently this wasn't out of nowhere either. Apparently this was part of a celebration of Caribbean and black culture that takes place in London. Now, it couldn't be done this year because of the pandemic. People doing it remotely means they're doing it from their homes, they're doing it online and sharing pictures. And that's why Adele is dressed up like that. And I think that brings a lot of important context to this. They try to make it like, oh, she all of a sudden wore this stuff out of nowhere, which admittedly, it can seem a little strange. Like if you just see some white chick all of a sudden dressing up like South African with the bikini and everything, that's a little funny. But when it's part of a celebration and it makes sense and it's part of something like an event, like this Caribbean event, or for example, Halloween is an appropriate time to dress up and you can act and be whoever you want, in my opinion. But according to liberals, you can't do certain things if you're white. And it shows their anti-white racism. It's like, if you're white, you can't wear this or that. You can't say this. You can't do that. If you're a minority, go ahead, knock yourself out. You know, black people can take over white roles in movies, but if a white person takes a formerly black role, that's offensive. It's a double standard. It's a classic do as I say, not as I do with liberals. And it also points out the fact that, this isn't really about protecting culture and, giving them respect. It's just about telling white people what they can't do. And it also is divisive too. Like if you think about it, this isn't a very harmonious way to act. This isn't like sharing and being nice. This is saying, oh, you have to wear this if you're from here. You have to wear this if you're from here. And if not, you're racist. And it's just the totally most insane idea I've ever heard. But it was the 32-year-old star's decision to wear Bantu knots, a traditional African hairstyle in which the hair is twisted into a series of small coined buns, that led some to denounce the singer's choice of costume. One Twitter user wrote, "If 2020 couldn't get any more bizarre, Adele is giving us Bantu knots and cultural appropriation that nobody asked for. This officially marks all of the top white women in pop as problematic. Hate to see it." There's that classic hate to see it meme that a lot of leftists use in their comments, and this is called a cultural appropriation. And you could see how the Twitter user isn't really referencing the event and the festival. They're just kind of pulling it out of context, acting like she wore these Bantu knots for no reason out of nowhere. And then there's just the cultural appropriation claim itself. Like, just think about it for a moment. What is this implying? It's racist to wear other cultures, whatever, garb, colors, hairstyles. This has come up before too. Of course, we've addressed this on the channel many times, and it's similar. It's similar cases. Sometimes it's dreadlocks, like, oh, only black people can wear dreadlocks, or, have an afro or something like that, hair related. Sometimes it's, the music they make. Like if Adele, say, for example, was trying to make a rap song, they would call her out for that. And it's just very like tribal. It's like protective of your culture. It's like they're afraid. They don't want Adele to look better than them, and they want to call her racist for that. And yeah, that's what cultural appropriation essentially is. It's a racist claim. It kind of hides behind a term that looks smarter than it is. It looks like it's something serious and official, but it's just another baseless liberal claiming you're racist. That's all it is. Another said, if you haven't quite understood cultural appropriation, look at Adele's last Instagram post. She should go to jail, no parole for this. Writing in the comments section of the Instagram post, a user said, Bantu knots are not to be worn by white people in any context, period. Okay, so these are rather worse comments. I mean, I don't know if they're being a little hyperbolic or over the top on purpose, but to suggest someone should go to jail for wearing a hairstyle is really, really extreme. I'm going to assume that's a joke and let that go partially, but if it is serious, that is rather ridiculous. And this last comment, I mean, I don't see any sort of humor or sarcasm in this at all. This is saying white people cannot wear a certain hairstyle no matter what. Like, this is a rule directly at white people. This is seriously racist and anti-white. And it's being masked by this cultural appropriation claim. Like, they're trying to act like Adele is racist when she's just wearing a hairstyle and a certain top. You know, she just has a certain thing on. That's not racist. She's not saying she hates anyone. She's not being prejudiced or attacking anyone. You know, this is actually, like I said, this is an honor. This is being respectful, saying you like this culture, this look, this hairstyle, or this clothing pattern. And it should be seen as a positive thing. It shouldn't be attacked like this. And the only reason it is because these are desperate, terrible, liberal people who hate white people. I mean, look at this. Can you imagine if you said a black person can't wear a certain hairstyle? If you told a black person to do anything, you'd be called racist. You can't even tell them to stop committing crimes. They believe they can commit crimes and do whatever they want, and then BLM will defend them and all that. But this is insane. This is actually totally more extreme than I thought it would go. Like, I can't believe how far it went and how bad this look really is. This is a picture of Adele from before. Like I said earlier this year, she lost a lot of weight. She looks good. She looks pretty. She's got new songs out. Good for her. And she doesn't deserve to get attacked like this. No one does. This is just straight up anti-white racism. That about wraps things up. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Make sure you comment your thoughts on everything below. Tell me what you think about Adele, her hairstyle, her new look, and if you think cultural appropriation is really a thing, or is it just anti-white racism? Tell me what you think below. Also, hit the like button to help this video get shared. Subscribe if you're new, and hit the bell for notifications too. Until next time, have a great day, everyone.